in so many different ways, in different places, the church of Jesus Christ is threatened with bad theology in a number of places. So on a broad and public level, false teaching is creeping into the church from a variety of angles. You have what we might consider to be the most obvious of that would be the progressive churches that make Christianity about liberal social agendas. Yes? So this is where we say, all right, this is not good teaching. This is bad theology because we boil all of Christianity down to it's kind of social activism. That's it. And that's not good teaching. At the same time, we have something coming now, I think, more from the conservative side of things, where people want to make much of the Bible. In fact, so for example, Jordan Peterson has a whole entire series of teaching that he does on the Gospels. And then I listen to what Jordan Peterson says about Jesus, and I'm like, you should not be teaching on the Gospels. Because in Jordan Peterson's mind, Jesus is most useful not as we consider his actual humanity and divinity, and that he died and went literally into a tomb and literally came out of that tomb, and then that affects forgiveness of sins for people who believe in him. Like, for Jordan Peterson, that's not the main thing. The main thing for him is Jesus is an excellent moral example. He's an excellent example of an archetype. That's the language that he likes to use. Jesus is an archetype. So he's an example to us of how we need to be willing to face the darkest things that life has to offer. We have to be willing to let a part of ourselves die, and then we have to do that so that we can really be raised from the dead as new kinds of people. And it's moralism. It's not the gospel, and it's not good theology. Now, I say that with like a lot of things that Jordan Peterson, for example, has to say, I like. But he's not giving us good theology. Do you see that? It's not good theology. We've got, in addition to those two, just kind of the left-right thing, we have a lot of syncretism. That is the desire to take Christianity and then stick a bunch of other stuff kind of with it and then come up with something that we just really like, that makes us feel good, and that's our faith. And so it's the blending of Christianity with other ideologies, with other religions. Broadly, we would call this the New Age. But New Age is not even just one thing. New Age is just the idea that we can just pull little bits of things from all over the place, craft our own religion that sort of feels good to us, and then live like that's our path. And we see that in the Bible, syncretism, the blend, Christianity plus something, Jesus plus something. We have now a renewed attack on Paul, the Apostle Paul. Many people today are saying that Paul created a different religion than the one that Jesus taught. And so you now have people, once again, this has been done many times over the centuries, but people pitting Paul against Jesus. And you have people today, there's a guy named Aaron Abke, and he loves to posit that if you really want to follow Jesus, you have to reject most of the New Testament. Because Paul taught heresy. Yes. Paulinism. And so my point is that, like, unless you just never want to think about these things at all, like, you will see pretty quickly that there's bad theology coming from many different places. And we want to look at how do we think about that. Now,